got it. Alrighty. Okay. Buenos dias. Bonjour. Guten Tag. What up, though? And all those other nomenclature types of greetings. Good day, sir and madam. I bid you good morning. All right. Go ahead. We are going to be drinking out of a fire hose this morning. I am letting you know that now. So we are going to be speeding like nobody's business. We are a S580 on the Autobahn. Das Autobahn, Herr Morgan. This here morning. Okay? All right. So go ahead and get your note-taking materials out. If you don't already have them out, run like Speedy Gonzalez and go get them, or use your virtual note-taking materials. 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale this morning. In and out, 3 good deep breaths, because we are going to strengthen our brain cells today. Go ahead and breathe. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn Jr., and the second, I apologize, and Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today, we are talking about be a thermostat, not a thermometer, and it is principle number 12 of the 74 principles of real leadership. Now, I'd just like to get this disclaimer. When I woke up this morning, I said, it's probably not a lot of information out there about be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Comes from church principle from a pastor that I had that I said, I like that concept. Okay, got it. It's not new. People say it all the time. Not quite sure where it originated, but it is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And I thought, how could this really be based in neuroscience? I mean, I know it's there. I know you use it, but I found out is a lot. So get prepared. Your hand might be hurting. You might have to watch the replay. If you have to leave, I know I'm going over today. All of that is perfectly acceptable, but this information still needs to be readily available for you. So the quote in my book is, set the temperature, don't take it. Set the temperature, don't take it. And as we go through today's live, you will see that that is more and more prevalent and more apropos, especially if you currently live in America. The times in which we live in, you're going to need to really strengthen that neural pathway and become a thermostat, not a thermometer. So to be a thermostat, not a thermometer, refers to setting the tone, the mindset, or the emotional climate rather than merely reacting to it. So you're setting the tone for it, whether it is a mindset or a emotional climate. And so in neuroscience terms, because there are neuroscience terms for this. How cool is that? This relates to self-regulation. Self-regulation. So it's you being a thermostat, not a thermometer. So it is your emotional control and leadership of your internal state. Self-contained. So you need to be a thermostat, not a thermometer first. You need to do it. So you need to self-regulate. Who needs the self-regulation? The amygdala, the limbic system. The amygdala pops off and all hell breaks loose. So when you are a thermostat and not a thermometer, you are self-regulating the emotional control center located in the limbic system, which is in the temporal lobe of the brain. That's what you're doing. You said, I'm going to respond. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to be a part of this piffleness and nonsense and bullshit. Okay? I am going to remain calm at all costs. And so there are 6 brain regions that are allowing you to be a thermostat, not a thermometer, based on neuroscience. Number 1, the homie, the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the executive control setting, and its intentions are to override reactive impulses. Its intention is to say, listen here, amygdala, sit down, be humble. We're not about to do that. We have inhibition control located in the executive function of the brain in the frontal lobe. So the inhibition control says, we're not about to do something or say something that we're going to regret later. No, That's not what we're about to do, okay? Amygdala, sit down, be humble. Number 2 is the ACC, the anterior cingulate cortex, and it's responsible for the emotional regulation, monitoring conflicts, and adapting the behavior. So it says, oh, no. We're not going to do that. Calm down. Not going to do that. We're going to do something else. This is thermostat behavior. We want to be thermometers. Number 3 is the insular cortex, and we refer to that as the insula. And it is responsible for the awareness of internal states. So your introception, managing your emotional responses. So again, being a thermostat, not a thermometer, means that you are regulating you. You're not saying, well, if everybody would just leave me the fuck alone, y'all would stop starting fights. If you would just stop enacting shit and making me mad, then I wouldn't be mad. No, that's not how that goes. Okay? You still have to make the choice to be angry. Even if someone does something, you are the one that decides if you are going to be angry, upset, sad, or whatever it is that's taking place. Okay. Number 4 is the amygdala. Notice we can't leave alive without talking about the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. Some of the other ones show up, like the hippocampus isn't there every day, the insula isn't there every day, but that prefrontal cortex and that amygdala, as we talked about yesterday, that relationship is extremely important, and we got to co-parent the brain, okay? That's the only way everything else works. So the amygdala detects emotional cues, but regulated by the prefrontal cortex for calm leadership. So it says, hey, I think we got a problem. And then the prefrontal cortex says, let me assess. Slow down. Be quiet. Good morning, Lola. It says, let me assess. Number 5 is the hippocampus, and that is responsible for memory integration, learning from past emotional experiences. So when I used to be in the dating world, I used to get this line all the time. Yeah, I've been hurt before, so I have a hard time, being open with my feelings and stuff because I had my heart broke in the 3rd grade by Jennifer. You 40. You're 40. Okay? Let Jennifer go. That was 30-something years ago. Okay. Okay, Kevin, got it. Thank you. So, yes, it's memory integration from past emotional experiences. So if you keep letting Jennifer from the 3rd grade make it so you can't live currently, then that is thermostat behavior instead of thermometer. Thermometer behavior instead of thermostat behavior. Okay. And number 6 is this. And this is something new that I learned this morning. And it's called default mode network. Default mode network. And what that is that's the self-reflection, internal narrative control. And so it's for mental rehearsing and tone setting. Now I did some extra research and I got some teeny tiny font because I wanted to get it all on one Post-it. So look at all that. So the default mode network is a set of brain regions that are active when a person is not focused on their external environment. That's when you are you yourself personally by yourself. And so the DMN is what it's referred to, it is most active during resting states. So that's when it's doing its thing. That's when it's allowing you to self-reflect and have your internal narrative. That's why it's so important for you to have 15 minutes or more with yourself, because you are actually in your default mode network. Now, what happens is the default mode deactivates when attention shifts to external tasks requiring focus. So when it's just you, yourself, and nothing's happening, you are in default mode network and you are Wusan. And then something externally takes place, and then it goes, okay, y'all gotta go take care of that. Let me know when it's done. Okay? So that's gonna show back up here momentarily. Now, so again, the 6 regions of the brain that are used for thermostat versus thermometer behavior are this: the prefrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate cortex, the insular cortex, the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the default mode network. Now, watch this, because this was the interesting part for me. There are 5 thermostat mindset brain functions. What you say, Dr. Donna? I said there are 5 thermostat mindset brain functions. I know you didn't know this because I didn't know this. So number 1, is it sets the emotional temperature. So it leads with calm, focused, and positivity. It sets the emotional temperature. It goes in and says, hey, amygdala, we're going to operate at 72 degrees today. We're going to operate at 83 degrees. But it sets the emotional temperature. And number two is it overrides immediate reactions to external emotions. That heat, baby, that fire. So it overrides it. And the amygdala is like, it's 102 degrees. And it's taking the temperature. But then the prefrontal cortex says, no, it's not. It's 72 degrees. It's 72 degrees. Chill out. It keeps everything calm, cool, and collected. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Now, number three is that it maintains internal stability despite external stressors. It's maintaining the internal temperature. It's saying it's not hot. It's not freezing. It's not raining. It's not a tsunami. It's calm. It's 72 degrees with a light wind coming from the west, and it's nice and sunshiny. That is what's not happening, okay? What's happening for us is something different. Number four is it monitors and adjusts your responses intentionally. So it is using the inhibition control and the executive function to say, I know it looks like shit show palooza out there, but we are calm. We are cool and we are collected. And then number five is it engages conscious self-talk to maintain the desired state. So while all hell is breaking loose, it is saying that is not what's actually happening. Those are people with hijacked amygdalas that are attempting to hijack your amygdala too. That will not bode well for the situation. It will contribute to the shit show, to the fire, to the volcanic eruption that looks like Pompeii. That's what it will do if you engage. So don't do that. Don't do it and don't say it because you're going to regret it. So the inhibition control says, no, darling, that's not what's taking place. We're not participating in that. It's 72 degrees over here. It's a nice summer day. That's what it is for us. It's a nice fall day. It's a beautiful winter day where there's just light snow. We're inside by the fire drinking some hot beverage, just chilling, listening to some jazz, some classical music, some mindful music. It's woosah. So those are the 5 mindsets for thermostats for the brain. Now, of course, there's 2 sides to every coin. So here are the 3 thermometer mindsets. And so that's the reactive state. But a response peaceful state is where you want to be. So here they are. When you're a thermometer, you mostly engage the limbic system circuits. That's what you do. So you stay in the limbic system. That's the emotional center of the brain. And what happens is, number 1, the amygdala activization. So the amygdala is overacting. It's very much overreactive. And so it's a quick emotional reactivity. As soon as it's something, let me do something. And there is minimal prefrontal cortex engagement. I'm going to say that part again. For all of you who like to pop off and act like a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, there is minimal prefrontal cortex engagement. So what you end up experiencing is poor impulse control, because the executive function, the inhibition control is not there. So that's how you just lose your mind. And you're like, I don't know what happened to me. I just went off. Now you know. Now you know exactly what happened. The amygdala took over, said, move, prefrontal cortex. I got this. And next thing you know, somebody in a chokehold, you might be getting pulled away. You might be saying a bunch of things and hurt feelings and everything else because of that poor impulse control. And then the third and final one is that it's increased insular sensitivity. So there is this over-awareness of stress or discomfort. Now everything's just, oh my God, you say, all of that, because you are taking the temperature. You're taking on what is currently taking place. So that's no bueno, and that's no braino, okay? We do not want to be a thermostat, because that means that the amygdala is in charge and it's running shit. Cortisol is up, brain fog is enacted, and the amygdala is saying, I'm running this now. Got it. I'm going to make all the decisions in this moment. And it's not going to go well for nobody. All right, so here's the summary of the thermostat versus the thermometer brain activity. So we'll put it all together. So thermostat sets the tone, thermometer reacts to the tone. So you want to be setting it, you don't want to be reacting to it. So when you have the thermostat, you have a strong prefrontal cortex control. Conversely, when you are a thermometer, there is a dominant limbic system response, the amygdala. So when you are a thermostat, PFC is in control. When you are a thermometer, amygdala is in control. Next is the emotional regulation. When you are a thermostat, you have emotional regulation, and so the ACC and the insula are engaged. When you are a thermometer, you have a heightened emotional reaction to everything. So you are in your feelings. You are feeling your feelings, and you in your feelings, and you are reacting with your feelings. Next is the awareness and intentional adjustment. Cognitive flexibility happens when you are a thermostat. Because you are using the executive function of your brain, you are aware and you are intentionally making adjustments to whatever external stimuli is taking place. Conversely, with that being a thermometer, you are automatic, uncontrolled reactions. You are doing and saying all kinds of things that soon as you come back down, you are going to regret having said and having done. And then finally, number 4, the leadership of the internal state. When you are a thermostat, you are calm, you have that calm leadership, and you're going to make the right decisions in those moments. But when you are having a hijacked amygdala, guess what you're going to do? Be a victim of external circumstances, and you're going to start crediting and blaming. Well, if they hadn't, well, the reason why I said, but because they did, that's what's actually going to take place. So now, what questions do you have, if any, about the 6 brain regions, the 5 functions of the mindset of a thermostat, the brain functions, or the 3 that are amygdala related in your reactive thermometer state, or the summary of the thermostat versus the thermometer? And if it's clear, just say clear. Understand that Mr. Hook is driving. Good morning, Regina. Yeah, so I said 6 pages of notes. Please summarize number 2 in the thermometer state. Okay, so number 2 is you overrule immediate reactions to external emotions. External emotions. I don't know why I got emotion. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what it is. I apologize. Overrule immediate reactions to external emotional heats. So here's what happens. So remember, the thermostat has made the temperature 72, and then something pops off. Family member acts like they don't have no damn sense at a family event. And so you're like, okay, here they go. So what it does is it says, we are not about to get our amygdala hijacked. We are not about to get our amygdala hijacked. It's 72 degrees. I know it feels like we're in 102 degrees externally, but we are at 72 degrees. So it's the reverse osmosis for hot flashes. You know how when you're having a hot flash, you are hot and everybody else is cold? It's the reverse of that. So everybody else is hot and you sitting over there cool. You're like, yeah, I'm not about to be reacting to this. I'm going to wait and I'm going to respond. But what I'm not about to do is take my 72 degrees and turn it into 102 degrees. I'm good. This is my nice hair. I don't want to sweat my satin headband out. So no, I'm not going to engage. So that immediate, you go from 72 to 102 quick, you're not going to do that. You're going to stay cool because of calm leadership. You already set the temperature that you're going to be at. Your internal temperature is going to be 72 degrees. And I'm picking that because over there, you see brain circuit. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. It's at 72 degrees. Okay? All right. Now, We got 7 brain-based activities grounded in neuroscience to strengthen being a thermostat, not a thermometer. So 7 brain-based activities grounded in neuroscience to strengthen being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Okay, so to strengthen being a thermostat, not a thermometer, means leading your emotional state. That's the important part. Leading your emotional state rather than reacting to others. What you say now, Dr. Donna? You're going to be leading your emotional state. Right here, temporal lobe is where the amygdala resides, rather than reacting to others. It's all about boosting the prefrontal cortex control. And so you're going to enhance emotional regulation and build your self awareness circuits. That's what being a thermostat means. I am going to maintain my emotions without you and yours. You can act a damn fool if you want to. Go ahead. But I am going to be responsible for my emotional state. And I'm going to control it by regulating my amygdala. I'm going to regulate my amygdala. Now, you can do whatever you want. You can let yours lead you off a cliff if you so desire. But I am going to regulate my amygdala. My amygdala is not going to regulate me. And in doing that, I am going to build my self-awareness circuits because I'm going to be using the ACC, the insula, and my personality and my prefrontal cortex. So you can let that little almond run your life if you want to. Go ahead. You got other options, but if you want to, go ahead. I'm going to understand that I am responsible for my own emotions and I'm going to regulate them. And here's how. Number 1 is you're going to do prefrontal cortex training, executive control. So if you think about a high-level executive at an organization or a principal, somebody in a high-level leadership position versus an hourly staff member or in school situation, students. Students pop off all the time. Teachers kind of do it. Midline administrators may do it. And then as you get higher and higher up in theory, as the positions grow in leadership, the calmness should be there. Just like in a job, you get to senior VP levels and presidents and CEOs, they should be much calmer than the person that's in a inferior position, not in life, but just in the hierarchy of an organization. And so that's what you want to focus on is the executive control that you have. And so here is the activity, cognitive reappraisal practice. And so what you're going to do daily is when you feel emotional and triggered, reframe the situation with neutral or positive meaning. Here we are again with reframing because you're rewiring the situation. So if you were already wired to back in the day, you stepped on my shoes, we was fighting or getting into at least a verbal onslaught. That was about to happen. Now, doesn't matter. Okay? So you're going to pause when you're feeling emotionally triggered and reframe the situation with neutral or positive meaning. Someone steps on my shoe. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, let's see if we can get something to get the dirt off. Okay. No worries. Got it. I understand. Mistakes happen. Let's move on. So you're going to reframe the situation. If, for example, when people come on the lives and they say sexual things to me because they think this is a good idea, my triggering is my 26 essays. And so the first thing I want to do is jump through the phone and put these motherfuckers in a chokehold right until they're right before their last breath and then call emergency responders to come pick them up so that they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But I don't do that. I don't do that. But that's my initial, and then I just calmly assess what's taking place and I say, okay, let's flip this. Let's go ahead and say something different. Keep my internal attention and tension down and let's stay at 72 degrees. And the reason why you do that is because you're training that neural pathway. This is how you become a thermostat. This is how you become a thermostat. I am going to have executive control over my executive functions, and I am going to use inhibition control right now and not pop the hell off. Justifiably so, but still, nevertheless, not something that I'm willing to do. And the neuroscience basis for this is that it strengthens the prefrontal cortex pathways for overriding the limbic emotional system. So when you keep reframing it and you keep reframing it, the trigger finally goes away. And that's what happens. And so this isn't necessarily people walking all over you and causing physical harm to you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you will, once you get this neural pathway, you will instantaneously be able to tell when someone's amygdala is hijacked and they're acting like a damn fool. And you will just maybe get some popcorn, which I have here this morning. You'll get some popcorn and you just go, okay. Or you can leave, but you don't engage. Number 2, mindfulness meditation, and this is emotional regulation. And as I've mentioned, go ahead and start getting a meditation app, a mindfulness app, watching it on YouTube, TikTok, somewhere, just so you can get that neural pathway going, because now you understand personal accountability and the importance of it. Back in the day, I used to look at yogis and be like, oh God, here they go with this breathing shit again. Oh, I just peace and no, but it actually works. You stay centered. So mindfulness meditation for emotional regulation, because now you know why you're doing it. You're doing it to keep the amygdala calm, because when the amygdala is calm, the prefrontal cortex can do its job without this emotional interference. So the activity that you can do is 5 to 10 minutes of focusing on your breath, your body sensations, and your environment without reacting to thoughts. Because that's the whole amygdala's job. It is something says, here we go, problem, problem, problem. You're like, woo, 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 woo. So you are constantly being in this thermostat state, and you can't regulate anything because of the large amounts of cortisol in your frontal lobe. So the neuroscience basis for this is that it activates the ACC and the insula, and it improves your emotional self-awareness and response control. Improves your emotional self-awareness and response control. And Nola and I had this conversation, I think last week or the week before that, where we said, and I think I said it on the live as well, people spend too much time with other people's shit. They spend too much time on other people's things. I got to get married, got to get a job, got to have some kids, got to have a spouse, got to have some friends, got to have some church members, got to have all this external stuff. And there is no me time. And then people take a mental health day and think that that's going to be enough. One mental health day does not a neural pathway make. Okay? It's not going to happen. You actually have to wire your brain to put you first. And I haven't said this in a while. When you're on a plane, flight attendants tell you put your oxygen mask on first and then assist the others around you. But in today's world, the last thing you get to do is put your oxygen mask on. First thing you wake up in the morning, you got all these thoughts, you don't do a brain dump, you don't write it down, and now for the rest of the day, you're running and gunning, and get to the end of the day, and you got crumbs left over for you. And somehow your brain is supposed to wake up tomorrow and do that same thing again, and that same thing again, and that same thing again, and now you just want comfort. You just want some manufactured dopamine just to get through the next day. And so this mindfulness gives you that quiet time to quiet the amygdala, so you can start saying, I got to put me first. They got that that sound that they use from Taraji and them on Empire, where she said, I got to put me first, Lucius. I got to put me first. So you actually have to put yourself first in order for any of this to work, which is why it's personal accountability and not peopleable accountability. Okay. So number 3 is introspection awareness. And so you're tuning into your internal state. And the activity is regularly check your physical sensations. So your heart rate, your breathing, your muscle tension, and you're consciously relaxing them throughout your day. Check in. Are you going? Are your muscles like very tight and tense? If you find yourself doing like this, you are being a thermostat. If you find yourself in all this chaos and all this nonsense going on, and you're like, let me check my blood pressure is 105/72. I'm good. I'm about to take a nap. Your adenosine shows up, you get your nice little power nap in, and you go on about your day. So you are doing some introspective thinking. I need to be aware of what's happening on the inside. So you got to feel it. You got to be calm and quiet in order to understand what's taking place internally. And the neuroscience basis for this is that it boosts insular cortex functions and it enhances internal awareness. So a foundation for setting your tone intentionally. How can you set your internal temperature if you don't spend time focused on yourself? If you haven't taken yourself out on a date recently or treated yourself or celebrated your wins, today is a great day for you to do that. Make it about me Monday, okay? What am I doing? I'm making it about me Monday. I'm celebrating my wins. I'm celebrating my awesomeness. I'm celebrating my magnificence. And so I'm going to take me out on a nice date. I'm going to treat myself to a great meal. I might go to dinner, might listen to some music, concert or something because it's summer. So you have a lot of things happening. That's what I'm going to do. So you have to treat you better than you treat anybody else. And that happens when you have that introspective time. If you don't, then you're going to be popping off. If you find yourself popping off a lot, that means that you have not had me time. Okay, the next one is, and this is something else that I learned this morning, delayed reaction practice. So you have to practice it. Just like you have to do delayed gratification, you can't do immediate gratification because you'll never get, you just keep getting dopamine. You don't increase your working memory. So delayed reaction practice. And this is called impulse buffering. Impulse buffering. And what is that? I'm glad you asked, Regina. Have to put my gaffos on for this because it's, again, my teeny tiny handwriting. So impulse buffering is the brain's ability to delay, modulate, or suppress impulsive responses to stimuli. And it is allowing for more controlled, deliberate decision making. I'm going to say that again. Impulse buffering, the brain's ability to delay, modulate, or suppress impulse responses to stimuli, allowing for more controlled, deliberate decision making. Okay? So the activity is this. When faced with conflict or stress, mentally count to 5 before speaking or acting. Soon as a stressful situation happens, and don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bitch, you done lost your mind. Don't do that. Go count, military count. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, 1,000. 5, 1,000. Okay? Now, what that's going to do from a neuroscience basis is it's going to strengthen your neural circuits between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, promoting emotional regulation. That's all you got to do is count 5 seconds. And that's impulse buffering. You're going to say, y'all not about to get me. No. You're going to use your inhibition control and you're going to count 5 seconds. And what you're saying is, amygdala, every time this happens, I'm going to count to 5. And then we're going to respond. You don't get to pop off at nanoseconds. That's not what's going to take place. We are impulse buffering. So just think, 5 seconds of, and now that neural pathway is going to say, oh, so when something pops off, we don't pop off. We count to 5. And then we assess what's taking place and we respond, not react. All right, the next one is visualization of desired emotional state. And again, something that we keep experiencing every day or multiple days where it's, I got to visualize this. I got to see this of my desired emotional state. So what is the activity? I'm glad you asked, Lola. Visualize yourself remaining calm. You have to see yourself remaining calm, confident, and you're setting positive tones in challenging scenarios. So you have to say, I'm on my way to the annual family 4th of July barbecue. My Aunt Niecy is going to be drunk and toe up from the floor up 30 minutes in, acting crazy as hell. Here's what I imagine myself doing. And now you play that movie out. And what that does is, from a neuroscience basis, it engages the default mode network and the prefrontal cortex, training your brain to rehearse thermostat behavior. Now let's go back to the default mode network as a friendly reminder. And it is the set of the brain regions that are active when you are not focused on an external environment. So it allows you to do what you need to do by yourself to create that neural pathway. Because once you get outside and have an external stimulus, the default mode network shuts down, because it's not just you yourself personally, it's you with all these other people. So that's why you rehearse it, so that it's naturally there. So when this external stimulus shows up, now you know exactly what to do because it's connected. And so what you're going to do is can make those connections so that you stay in a thermostat mindset and you don't react to Aunt Nisi saying, you think you fine. You think you fine. You ain't even got no man. How you think you fine and you ain't got no man? So then you can be prepared and go, oh, okay, cool, got it. I'm gonna go get some potato salad. Thank you, Auntie Nisi. Got it. Let's fix your wig. Okay. Bad Dr. Dollar 2%. Okay. Number 6. Cold exposure or breath work for stress resilience. Cold exposure or breath work for stress resilience. The activity is brief cold showers or controlled breathing. Brief cold showers or controlled breathing. And you can try this technique after you take your shower, right before you go off. Turn the cold water on. Let that all be a part of your life momentarily, and then go ahead and get out the shower. Or you can do controlled breathing, and this is box breathing. And so box breathing is you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds. So cold showers or box breathing. Again, box breathing is inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. And the neuroscience basis for this is that it strengthens your nervous system's capacity to stay calm under external stress, building automatic regulation. And so the theme, as I go into number 7, is that your objective is to remain calm. That's the secret sauce to being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Remaining calm. And so you have to do the work by yourself. When you are in your own default network mode, you are regulating your emotional system so that when you start to engage and interact with people physically or virtually, you are calm. You are calm. You are at 72 degrees. If you want it to be 80 degrees, whatever you decide is my thermostatic temperature, that's where I'm going to be. I'm not going to be freezing cold unless you like that. If you want to be at 32, cool. I'm not going to be burning up hot, but you get to decide in your personal time what your internal temperature is going to be, and you don't let external stimuli impact your internal temperature. So you don't let people turn up the heat or turn up the AC in order for you to be freezing or sweating like nobody's business so that your amygdala can take over. You remain at 72 degrees, 80 degrees, 60 degrees, whatever your internal temperature is. Number 7 is the final one and the final activity, and it is cognitive writing. So every time you hear writing, know that they told me journaling, and we're not doing that because journaling after all these years ain't changed or improved anything. What is this? Lint is going to bother me now that I see it in my hair. Okay. All right. Cognitive writing. So this is mental tone setting. And the activity is daily writing how you want to set the emotional tone for your day and reflect on your success. And so I had to do that this morning. I had to do the 5-minute writing journaling exercise because, as we know, my amygdala and my ACC are having withdrawal from the schedule that they were on for between 6 and 9 years. And so it is having withdrawals every morning. It's like, no, we got to do this, we got to do this. And so I had to get a new composition notebook out and write down for my first 5 minutes of the day what thoughts were in my head so that I could prepare for the live. So these writing exercises actually works. It's just how you get it out so the amygdala can shut the fuck up and you can go back to doing what you were doing. You give the amygdala the binky and say, listen, this is what's happening. Okay, here are the facts. Now I got to prepare for this doggone live. And then Jessica, good morning, says, is this why people get hot and flushed when angry or upset? To a certain extent, yes. Because if you think about the cartoons when they blow their top, yes, they are that angry and that mad. So their internal temperature is not 72 degrees, not or 30 degrees Celsius, however that works, because we're on a Fahrenheit system. So yes, that's the heated. And that's why I said the heat. So when you are in your prefrontal cortex, you don't have that emotional heat. Blowing your top doesn't take place. Okay, so in writing, you're going to get to what's actually happening and be able to assess that. And the neuroscience behind that is it activates your prefrontal cortex intentionally and it builds new neural pathways for emotional leadership. Isn't that a beautiful word? Emotional leadership. And I know they have emotional IQ, but emotional leadership, which I'm going to use for tomorrow's Real Leader Brain, is amazing because you are actually leading the charge for your own limbic system. I believe that's what I'm going to recover or discover. We'll see. And so the bonus brain benefit is this. Engaging in these activities builds neuroplasticity. And we love neuroplasticity over here. It strengthens your ability to lead your emotional climate. So you get to lead your emotional climate. Nobody else at all gets to lead your emotional climate. And you get to maintain control under pressure and influence your environment positively. All of these are hallmarks for true thermostat behavior. And I'm going to say that again. The bonus brain benefit is that engaging in these activities builds neuroplasticity, strengthening your ability to lead your emotional climate, maintain control under pressure, and influence your environment positively, all hallmarks of true thermostat behavior. So that is what's taking place. So to review, these 7 brain-based activities grounded in neuroscience to strengthen being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Number 1 is the prefrontal cortex training. Number 2 is mindful meditation. Number 3 is introspection awareness. Number 4 is delayed reaction practice. Number 5 is visualization of desired emotional state. Number 6 is cold exposure or breath work for stress resilience. And number 7 is cognitive writing for your mental tone setting. What questions do you have before I get into the 10 benefits and the other 5 additional benefits? So I said a lot to cover today. Let me know if it's clear as bell or clear as mud. And again, I did not think that there was this much neurological based, brain-based information with regards to be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Had no idea. Cool. I was like, oh, I woke up. I'm telling you, I was like, man, this is going to be a quick live. I bet you there is nothing out there. Shock of my life. I clutched my real leader pearls. I sure did. I said, oh my goodness. And I clutched my brain pearls too. I have a daily active thing. And Regina says, good morning. And Lola says, got it. Okay. So number 10, not number 10. So there are 10 brain-based benefits of a thermostat, not a thermometer. I know I never heard about the default mode network either, and it is fascinating. It really is. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Because I've been telling y'all, spend 15 minutes or more with yourself. Had no idea that that's what it was. I was like, oh my goodness, Dr. Donna, you're a genius. I just kept saying, you need to do it. You need to instinctively. I'm like, you need to do this. You need to do this. And then it shuts off as soon as you start interacting with other people. Yes, it is amazing. So now you know what you're doing. So that's why it's so important to spend time with yourself to gather your thoughts and get everything together. Because now when you're dealing with people, you're like, okay, I'm good. I worked in my default mode all morning. So here we go. Let's do this. Winty Films, if I were you, if you'd like to stay, I wouldn't type anything unless it is brain-based about what I've been talking about. You have been given the opportunity to have grace this morning. I would stay on target. So do not ask me anything that doesn't have to do with anything unless it's about be a thermostat, not a thermometer, neuroscientifically, or personal accountability. If you type anything other than that, I will remove you from this live. Okay, you got some grace this morning and be grateful for that. Number 10, there are 10 brain-based benefits of being a thermostat, not a thermometer. And here they are, and they are backed by neuroscience. So number 1 is enhanced emotional regulation. So you end up with a stronger prefrontal cortex to amygdala pathways, reducing the reactivity. So what takes place is you strengthen your prefrontal cortex. And what happens is that pathway to the amygdala reduces that negative activity that's happening, that reaction activity. It's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're staying at 72 degrees. We're staying at 72 degrees. We're staying at 72 degrees. I understand what's taking place, but we're staying at 72 degrees. Number 2 is improved stress resilience. And resilience has come up at least 6 times since we've been talking about this. So improved stress resilience. So what you have is greater control over the let me get this because this is a new word for me this morning. Hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. That's a mouthful, right? And so what happens is cortisol surges, and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is your body's main way to respond to stress. And so it's going to reduce that. It's going to reduce those cortisol surges that keep happening as the amygdala pops off, pops off, pops off, pops off. You will not have that happen to you because it will be reduced. Number 3, it's increased cognitive flexibility. So isn't that amazing that your cognitive flexibility is going to become more flexible? So what it does is the prefrontal cortex boosts adaptive thinking and better decision making under pressure. So now under pressure, you're going to be able to have better cognition, better ability to stick and move and go, okay, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, that's bad over there. So it's going to strengthen your ability when you're in pressure situations to be able to be more flexible and more adaptive. Number 4, stronger self-awareness, introception. Okay, so stronger self-awareness. That is what you are going to have. And what happens is the insula development improves your awareness of your internal emotional state. And that's what you need. That's why you need to go ahead and go in the DM, and I'm about to forget, the DMN. DMN, because that's your default mode network. And when you're in there, it gives you the ability to become more self-aware. And I venture to say that that's how it's linked. The prefrontal cortex is also linked to your personality because you are assessing you. You have this heightened sense of self-awareness. Okay, number 5, you're going to reduce the emotional hijacking. You are going to reduce emotional hijacking. So what's going to take place is that the prefrontal cortex is going to regulate the limbic system located in the temporal lobe. Prefrontal cortex right up here in the frontal lobe is going to regulate this bad boy. Regulators mount up, and it's going to prevent impulsive reactions, aka amygdala hijacking. By being a thermostat, you can prevent amygdala hijacking. That's gold right there, baby. That's winner chicken dinner. Blackjack 21 up in this piece. What? Are you kidding me? I'm going to be a thermostat. I'm going to control the limbic system, and I'm going to stop my amygdala from being hijacked. Yes, sign me up twice. Number 6, improved leadership and influence. Improved leadership and influence. So leading your emotional tone, it creates measurable social and team impact via mirror neuron management. So whatever you are doing, the mirror neurons are going to be increased. And so people are going to say, damn, Dr. Donna, thermostat, I need to be a thermostat too. How you do that? Where you get that from? Amazon? How you just always calm? Don't shit bother you. How is that possible? It's a shit show storm palooza going on, and you over there eating popcorn. How is that possible? Did you smoke something? Hey, can I have this? Is it a pill? Can I take it? No, you got to make it. You got to create it yourself. No, there's no pill for it. Okay, number 7, neuroplasticity enhancement. We love that. We love neuroplasticity enhancement, strengthening, improvement, all of that. And so repeated thermostat behaviors create durable neural pathways for calm, confident responses. So when you are repeatedly demonstrating your thermostat behaviors, those neural pathways are Superman strong, Superwoman, Wonder Woman strong, and you are going to have calm, confident responses. Calm, confident responses, because the last thing you are is confident and calm when your amygdala is being hijacked. You are not. You are irrational as hell. You are not calm, and you might not be that confident. You might have some adrenaline going through your body, and you think you're about to do something, but it's not real confidence. Number 8 is that it is a greater default mode network. So you're going to have stability with that. It's going to support reflective thinking and internal emotional regulation because you're going to be checking in with it every day. So it's going to be like, yeah, we're not doing that. We know who we are. We don't have to let somebody in this situation tell us who we are. We know who we are. Why would we be involved in that? It's like when people type the N word on the lives now. Darling, you are an imbecile. I will not participate in your imbecilic antics. Absolutely not. And I will go back to doing what I am doing. Hijacking amygdala will not be effective over here with that piffleness. So it gives you that greater default mode network stability. Number 9 is improved attention and focused. That is what you want, is to be present, to be where your feet are. So it gives you emotional self-regulation, and it frees your cognitive resources for sustained attention. That is what's going to happen. You are not going to be distracted. And we know eliminate distractions is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. You are not going to be distracted by somebody else's hijacked amygdala. That's not what's going to happen. It would be the equivalent to you are sitting in an environment of your choosing this morning, unless you're at work, but then you still say yes to the job. So if someone is having an argument with their spouse in their house right now, that has nothing to do with you, especially if it's not loud, they didn't come outside, and they're not brandishing any type of weapons. That ain't got shit to do with you. So why are you getting all up in arms about the person not putting the lid back on the ketchup? That ain't got nothing to do with you. Keep doing what you're doing. And so it allows you to stay calm and stay focused, okay? So it regulates you so that you can have full cognition and you can remain focused. And number 10, it is the resilient brain wiring under pressure. Resilient, again, this is the second time I've mentioned it today. So it strengthens your emotional regulation circuits, making them more automatic over time. That's what happens. Nola and I could be at an appointment, something crazy shows up, I'm remaining calm. Okay, let me see, what is it? Give me the information. All right, let me look at this, cool. This is how we're gonna get that done. And then move on. So now you have this resilient brain wiring under pressure. And now the circuits are circuiting, and things that make other people lose their mind are like breathing to you because you know how to breathe. You are doing your 4 seconds in, hold, 4 seconds out, your box breathing, and then hold. So you can remain calm because you have regulated your amygdala. So you are not up in arms. Well, why are you not upset? The question is, why are you upset? Because what is upset going to do? Upset doesn't solve problems. Now you have so much cortisol in your frontal lobe, you're going to make a dumbass plan. So calm down so you can have rational thought. Feel your feelings. You got 15 minutes. Go ahead. Now let's go make a strategy, because that's what all of this amygdala-itis that we experience on a daily basis is: people not dealing with their feelings, people not regulating their own emotions, and then involving a bunch of other people in their own issues. People say you got daddy issues. No, you got amygdala issues. That's what you have. You have not regulated your own emotional system. You have not regulated the limbic system, and now you want company with that irregular limbic system. And you get all this buy-in, and now you got a bunch of motherfuckers with hijacked amygdalas making decisions for people with other hijacked amygdalas. And now everybody got a hijacked amygdala about the decisions that the hijacked amygdala people made, and so they make hijacked amygdala decisions. And it's just this vicious cycle because people haven't taken the time to be in their default mode network daily, working on themselves. All right. So now, what questions do you have about the 10 benefits? We'll go into the additional benefits, and they are, again, number 1, enhanced emotional regulation. Number 2, improved stress resilience. Number 3, increased cognitive flexibility. Number 4, stronger self-awareness. Number 5, reduced emotional hijacking. Number 6, improved leadership and influence. Number 7, neuroplasticity enhancement. Number 8, a greater default mode network stability. Number 9, improved attention and focus. And number 10, resilient brain wiring under pressure. Okay. If there are no questions, let's get to additional benefits backed by neuroscience and why this matters. All right, there are 5 additional benefits backed by neuroscience. Number 1 is there is a lower baseline of anxiety due to reduced amygdala hyperactivity. Okay, so because the prefrontal cortex has regulated the emotional center, the limbic system has emotional regulation going on, your baseline for anxiety is very low. Okay, so it is lowering that. It's not high. It's not like you breathe too much, motherfucker, I hate you. No, it's going to take a lot for you to pop off. And number 2 is this enhanced executive function, improving problem solving and critical thinking. Because you are doing your default mode network daily and you are spending your personal time with yourself, you're becoming more self-aware. What happens is you start making better decisions when it's under pressure. So your overall problem solving skills and your overall critical thinking is now improved because you see this as an opportunity instead of this doggone misfortune. So you're like, oh, now I can solve this, and this. Oh, okay, cool. I'm improving my problem solving neural pathway as well as my critical thinking because that's what it's for. When catastrophe shows up in conflict, you are working on those neural pathways. In order for you to get better at problem solving, problems have to occur. In order for you to get better at critical thinking, things need to fall apart for you to go, how can I make this work better? How can I improve this? So that's how that gets strengthened. Now, number 3, and here is a new term. Let's see if I get it correct. It is reduce the allostatic load, and it's spelled ALLOSTATIC, the allostatic load. And that's the wear and tear on from chronic stress. So you're going to reduce the allostatic load. Now, put my glasses on again. Told you I had a lot of information this morning. Okay, so the allostatic load, it refers to the cumulative wear and tear of the body and brain due to chronic or repeated stress. It's the body's efforts to maintain stability while under chronic stress. And so it involves dynamic adjustments to stressors, but over time, these adaptations can become costly due to the prolonged exposure to the stress hormones, i.e. cortisol. So what happens is you have this allostatic load. And now it's meant for short term. Ooh, this is a stressful situation. Let's hurry up and get this done. Last week with the desk. Oh, I got to hurry up and meet with my neuroscience test. And then it's supposed to go away. But because of hijacked amygdala-itis that is rampant in the 6.8 billion adults, you live in the allostatic state. So there is this allostatic load that people contend with. So I need this because I got high blood pressure and diabetes, and I need this Percocet and this Xanax and all of this because of my stress levels. And now, physically and neurologically, your body is getting fucked up on a daily basis. That's what's happening. So by being a thermostat, you're saying, no, I'm not about to participate in those antics. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're saying no 9 out of 10 times for your physicality and your neurological pathways. I'm not doing it. Y'all can, because that's a dumbass plan. That's going to be stressful as hell. It's not even organized. I'm not participating. So that's what's taking place from there. And then number 4, and again, it's the allostatic load. You're going to reduce it from chronic stress. Repeat it day in, day out, day in, day out. And then people go, oh my gosh, she had a stroke. What happened? Oh my God, I'm so stressed out. My blood pressure is 247 over 12,000. You're like, how? I don't even think that's possible. You sure you're okay? How you get to that level and you still breathing? But that's what's taking place. So do not be proud of having an allostatic load that's extremely high. Oh, I work good under pressure. I love stress. Stress don't do nothing to me. Stress is for the weak. No. The body's saying, I'm going to make you weak in about 4 more years. Keep doing that and watch what happens. Number 4, strengthen neural synchrony. Look at me. Strengthen neural synchrony between emotional and logical brain reasons. So neural synchrony is this. It refers to the coordinated firing or oscillating activity of neurons of brain regions where the activities, patterns, and they align in time with frequency or in a phase. So basically, this is crucial for communication between brain networks, facilitating various cognitive and behavioral functions. So basically, the neural synchrony is multiple regions talking together, neurologically communicating with each other so that they will be stronger when emotional situations take place. And then number 5 is more consistent activation of positive emotional networks. More consistent activation of positive emotional networks. And so it's basically linked to your optimism and your resilience. And so this is the third time today that we have talked about resilience. So these additional benefits backed by neuroscience are a lower baseline anxiety due to reduced amygdala hyperactivity, enhanced executive functions, improving problem solving and critical thinking. That's number 2. Number 3 is reduced allostatic load. And so that's that chronic wear and tear on your body and your brain. A strengthened neural synchrony between emotional and logical brain regions. So that means that, again, that the PFC and the amygdala are synchronized and working together instead of fighting each other. And then number 5 is more consistent activation of positive emotional networks. And so when your brain is firing on all cylinders, when the PFC and the amygdala are working together, then that means that you are stronger than someone who is living in a hijacked amygdala state. Now, why does this matter? I'm glad you asked, Jessica. It matters because when you set the tone, you are a thermostat, rather than react to the tone, thermometer, you rewire your brain for the following things. When you set the tone as a thermostat, rather than react to the tone, thermometer, you're going to rewire your brain for these. Greater control over emotional responses. Greater control over emotional responses. That means that when people are trying to hijack your amygdala, it's not going to work. Number 2, improved social interactions and influence. Because you are a cool, calm leadership, you have emotional leadership, and you are ready. Got it, Regina. You are fully functioning, high functioning. You are going to have better interactions with other people. And people go, oh my God, when you come around. Now the exchange is not, your job is to not be a thermostat for everybody else. Your job is to say, I'm a thermostat. Do you want to learn how to be a thermostat? Because otherwise I'm not going to keep coming around here because you all are trying to hijack my amygdala. You're trying to turn me into a thermometer. So I will stay to teach you how to do this, but I'm not going to be here long term. Now, number 3 is that you have long-term mental health protection. Long-term mental health protection without a prescription and without a mental health day. Because a mental health day is not going to stop you from going back to a hijacked amygdala situation. It's not. So you need to wire your brain to be thermostatic and not thermometric. All right. Number 4 is higher cognitive performance under stress. That means that you are going to be able to think in stressful situations where hijacked amygdala people are not. Doesn't mean that you keep signing up for that, because then that'll go with your allostatic load. So no, you say, no, here, I'm going to solve things that matter to me and impact me, and I can teach you how to do the same thing. And then number 5 is you're going to have a calmer, more focused internal state regardless of external chaos. A calmer, more focused internal state regardless of external chaos. So again, why this matters is greater control over emotional responses, improved social interactions and influences, long-term mental health protection. So you becoming a thermostat is for your mental health protection. Higher cognitive performance under stress, and then a calmer, more focused internal state regardless of external chaos. So what questions do you have? If everything is clear, let me know. We'll go over to our working memory, and that will be the day. Okay, so we are at working memory today, And how this works, and today is the last day of this type of working memory. We'll be doing a different working memory tomorrow. And it is, I give you 4 numbers, and then you take the number 3, add it to those numbers, and then type in the number backwards. Your results are going to be the backwards result of the number forward. So I'm going to tell you the number 3 times, and then you're going to add 3 to each individual number, and then take the result and type it in backwards. So today's number is 6323. 6323. 6323. That's awesome, Lola. Allostatic. Allostatic. Neurosynchrony. 6569. 6569. Got it. And my method of just adding it up backwards is the method that I've been using, and for the most part, it's been effective. Okay, so the last 2 questions today are, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? I learned a lot. I learned about the default mode network, the allostatic load, the neurosynchrony, and I learned that these things that I have been doing have actually, you wrote them all down. Well, awesome, Lola. That is amazing. And congratulations. And use them. And keep us updated on how it's going. That is awesome. So yes, I learned about those things. I knew instinctively that these are the things that needed to be done, but now that they're backed by neuroscience, I can continue to tell people the neurological benefits of why you should do it and how you can get it done. I think this lesson has been, for me, the most important lesson because of the hijacked amygdala-ness. And currently, if you live in America, you could just walk anywhere and people's amygdalas are being hijacked. So how do you maintain your thermostatic energy in the midst of all of this happening? And you do it through your default mode network. You stay in your personal time with yourself. It strengthens it. And then you set whatever temperature you're going to have for the day. And no matter what takes place, you regulate that amygdala. And I believe that when 6.8 billion adults learn emotional regulation of their personal amygdala, and they do their personal time, we're going to have a different existence. That's how it has to happen without interrupting the lesson. That is great, Lola, and I understand that. And I appreciate that because it was so much today. A lot of notes, a lot of new terminology and everything else. That's why I told the other person, participate or go away, because I couldn't do that this morning. Noah said, I learned where the different concepts are in the brain. And if you look at this is the brain-based benefits today. Because that's important for you to understand why being a thermostat, not a thermometer, matters. Mine is buffering. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So I did learn a lot. And what I'm finding is that the more you learn how to use your brain, the more powerful and empowered you become. So all of these things that seem foreign or that you couldn't do something about, you now have the neurological power to actually do something about it and excel at it. Not just do it, but actually go from that 70% Chris Henry to that 100% personal accountability, real leader level. Noah said, I learned about myself. I think I am naturally a thermostat. I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. Yes, ma'am, you have. You do not let a lot of things impact you on a day-to-day basis. All right. And Lola, do you have anything else for us? So I don't want to cut you off. Jessica, if you're still here, what did you learn? And what did you learn about yourself? And then just as a friendly reminder, if you're thinking, do a brain, do a dot, 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 buffering, thinking emoji, something to let me know that you are in the process of gathering your thoughts. All right, and Regina is back. I got really excited about learning about the default mode network and appreciating having made time to connect with mine over the last year and learning about the allostatic load. Lola said, I'm good, just getting better. And Regina, I sent you an email yesterday when you have time. I know you got stuff you're doing. Just check it out. It's from a neuroscientist and slash MD in their material. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because I need to shave my head because it's Monday and we got some errands to run. Your brain is extremely important. And I know I say this often, but I really want you to understand that. Your brain is extremely important to you, to absolutely you. And Regina says, understanding the allostatic load helped shed light on how I have managed to live my life and am happy not to be under chronic stress. Yes, and that's the whole point. That's why I'm glad it's there, because I'm going to start mentioning it to people who are just like, oh, it's just temporary. I'm like, no, it ain't temporary. The damage you're doing to your body and your brain is going to be long term, and it's going to show up 10 years from now. And you're going to be trying to figure out where did it come from. Yes, you're going to be trying to figure out where it came from. So here is my final summation for today. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. And you're a thermostat for you. Personal accountability is for you, not them. You're not becoming personally accountable so unaccountable people can take more advantage of you. That's not what this is for. You're becoming personally accountable so that you can show the people around you this is what balanced existence, this is what a strong brain can do for you. So you don't have to live in a hijacked amygdala state. That's a neurological choice that you're making on a daily basis. You can actually use your prefrontal cortex and all the brain regions as they were designed in order for you to become your best. You can actually become your best. Not wealthy, not rich, not all this other materialistic things, because wealthy people still have the same issues. People with a bunch of shit still got the same issues because they're living in a hijacked amygdala state. So your objective is to lead by example where you are. So people say, what changed? What's happening? Why are you not stressed out right now? What's happening? Why ain't none of this bothering you? How you just over here just chilling? Because my internal temperature is 72 degrees. Because I'm a thermostat, not a thermometer, because I know doing what you're doing is the definition of insanity. It's not getting a different result. So I decided to do something completely, totally different and take control of my brain and learn how it functions. And I'm creating neuroplasticity every single day. That's what I'm doing. So might want to try it. All this can go away. You can fix all this shit show of life. Regina said, it's interesting that a popular song this year, it's my anxiety. It's interesting that a popular song this year is it's my anxiety. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I don't know the song. That because that's where we are. We know music is a reflection of the times that we are currently living in. So that is what's happening. And so I will continue to say that it is not the isms, it is not the biases, it is the amygdala. And the amygdala is causing all kind of problems. This thermostat lifestyle that people lead every day. It won an award. Wow. So we are rewarding anxiety. I'm going to have to listen to that. And I spell anxiety wrong all the time, I guess because I don't want to be a part of it. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, just for a frame of reference so I can understand it. Yes. Lola, you said I thought, but not now. I know that I have an amazing brain. You do. Everybody has the ability to use their brain in the way that they determine is going to give them the best result. And that's what these lives are about. That's what my mission in life is about at this current state, is to bring awareness, brain awareness in a way, in a unique way where you are empowered. Because it's one thing to explain what the brain does, it's something else to say here to chronic illnesses, and all of that is necessary. But to make the connection for the individual person day in and day out to say, I can change my situation and I don't need a government grant to make this happen. I don't need to get a better job. I don't need a better spouse. I don't need a better house, a better car. But yes, how to use your brain, how it functions, and how to use it so you can access best, your best on the daily basis. That's what this is for. It's not for, oh, let me use neuroscience to manifest a new car or a new house. That's still not going to help you in your day to day. That's not going to help you when your amygdala gets hijacked. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in case of emergency, in case of a hijacked amygdala? You know how they have this break if it's a fire or something? What do you do in that moment? You breathe. And because you do all the external work, the internal work prior to being outside with anybody in your DMN, now you have the ability. Yes, you are different. You definitely are up here. So that makes sure if up here internal change creates external change. So when you have a hijacked amygdala, you think that you can go purchase it and somehow it's going to change neurologically, but it's not. You have to do the neurological work. You have to become personally accountable. You have to use neuromobility. Okay, Anxiety by Dochi. Got it. All right. So that's where people are. It's not where we are, but it's definitely apparently where the rest of the world is, that it wants, at least in America. That, and I'm sure if you get a win award here, you usually win awards throughout the rest of those musical channels globally when they have their award shows. Okay, so we are thermostats over here and not thermometers. Take this information and apply it instantaneously so that you can start to see the results in your life, and then others in your community will start to do the same thing. Thank you for your time this morning. As always, you did this for you and your amazing brain and your amazing life so that you can have an amazing existence. And God willing, higher power in the universe, I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirts. You all go off and have a brain-tastic day. Adios. My pleasure.